number one, how big you want to make it. As you can tell, you can make them like the standard biggest size I've seen. The very standard one is A3 or in like the...
Hi everyone, this is Kiwiji and I just spent the last half an hour watching my old how to make prints video, the very first artist alley tip video I ever made nearly 2 years ago, August 19, 2016, and I just spent half an hour going through it and writing down just things about it. Why bother making a second version of a video that is giving 2016 JR Bill credit quite in-depth and had a lot of information? Why bother making a second version of it when the first version was pretty neato already? A little bit cringy, a little bit long, but let's not get into that part. The reason why I wanted to make a 2.0 version of how to make prints is because it's been 2 years since then. I have done nearly 3 times the number of conventions that I did back then in 2 different countries as well, so I've got that notion in my head as well. And you just learn a lot. You never stop learning things, and I have learned so much about prints and everything, and I thought it was only fair to just share it with all of you. And without further ado, this is how to make prints 2.0. Point number 1, same as before, size. And as I said in the last video, there is no wrong answer. I want to retract that statement a little bit and say, no, there isn't a wrong answer, but there is a certain amount of thinking when it goes into making the sizes. I mean, not making the sizes, you're not making the sizes, about picking the sizes of prints that you want. So let's say you have a print design, like why, just ask yourself this first, why are there different size prints? Like why do people decide that one print will only be A5 or only be A4 or or it looks better in A3? That's the thing, alright? The thing about sizes that I learned from doing from all the new conventions I went to is that sometimes you have to be smart and think about the design that you have in front of you and be critical about it. Be critical. Ask yourself, is this design really gonna look good printed A3? Because think about it, A3 sizes are pretty long. It's as long as my arm, like right here. When you think about your design being printed at A3, which is the standard poster size, same as the first video, it is the standard poster size, but whether your design will look good printed in A3 is a entirely different question as well. So you have to think about the designs that you have. You need to look at the composition, level of detail, maybe colors, shadows, lights, all those things that is an entirely different video, because that has to do with composition and everything. Composition and how to actually design the prints, that's an entirely different video altogether. But look at the designs that you have and then decide and think to yourself, is this a good size? Is this going to look good printed at such a large size? You never realize how big A3 sizes are until you have it right in front of you. Admittedly, I have been doing conventions for a long time, but it's kind of like a train that's never stopped. And now I reached the point where where my art, especially, this is a personal thing, but I reached a point where my art has hit this limit and I realized that what I have compared to everyone else might not exactly be good at an A3 size, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having an entire table full of A4 prints. If your designs look better in A4, it's much more beneficial to you if you had your designs smaller, printed smaller. If they look better at a smaller print, you don't have to spend the money to print them bigger. Not that it's that much more money to begin with. To finalize the point, that's probably the biggest change that I went through between 2 years ago till now, looking at the designs that I have and realizing that some of them would just look better printed on A4 and maybe even A5, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having smaller sizes. You don't have to go big or go home. It's thinking clever. It's just thinking clever. That's all it is to it. Just being critical with yourself and saying, the design that I have, would it look good printed on such a large scale, or would it look better, meaning people are more inclined to buy it if it was printed on a smaller scale? There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a table full of A4 and A5 prints, and especially postcards. Even people love postcards. I've seen people with a collection of A6 postcards and people just having a pick and picking their favorites, putting it, like just holding all of them and going, I will take all of these, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So that is point number one about sizes. Just think clever. If you have a design that you love so much and you just want to print it in A3, go ahead. There's nothing stopping you. This is just my opinion. This is just what I've learned from doing so many conventions this year, and it's something that I myself is going to apply to my own portfolio for future conventions as well. But I mean, if you just love A3 prints and you just want to have stunning table full of, I heard my arm crack there a second, a stunning table of a giant A3 prints, go ahead. Like I always say in all my videos, the most important thing is that you have to be happy with what you have on the table, because what you have on the table is yours. It's representing you. Another thing about size that I want to elaborate more about is printing both A3 and A4. This way you can have it both ways. You can have it best of both worlds. You can have the option for people who want to spend a little bit less money to buy in A4, or you can have the option that people just love the design so much that you have and just absolutely need it in A3, and they prefer A3 as well. If you print it in both sizes, A4 and A3, like a smaller version and a larger version, it doesn't cost that much extra to make. It's just extra weight when you're carrying it from convention to convention. If you're doing multiple conventions, it is quite a lot of weight, extra weight. But if that's something that you want to do, it is definitely an investment to go in to have two different sizes of prints. So to reiterate, be critical of your own designs. What looks good in A4 might not look good in A3, and that might actually damage you a little bit more than you think, because I kind of went through that myself. You know, just some of the prints that I have, they look nice, but at such a large scale, people might not be as interested. So I'm holding this finger for quite a while, but going the extra mile, looking at your portfolio and thinking about these little things can make quite a bit of a difference. So that was the biggest change that I went through myself that I wanted to share with you guys today. And that's about it. Video over. So let's put sizes aside. We're done with that now. We've gone through it at quite a bit of an extensive length, and let's talk about the amount to print. I am really safe and comfortable with printing at least 10 copies of each design at both sizes. This is what I did for doing my convention tour, to print at least 10 copies of each design at 2 sizes, just so I have the option for available 2 people to print. And I think, and I said that in the last video as well, 10 to 15 copies of each print, I think that is still valid, especially now with the added bonus that if you have it at both sizes and you're away at a convention, as in you're not in your natural habitat, as it were, you're in another place far away from your cozy printer and you're printing your local printers, having both sizes means that you're less likely to run out of stock in the middle of a convention. And if you have something like originals, I don't know why I twitched when I said that, like originals, there's nothing wrong with originals, but if you're worried, print a little bit less. Like I said, it's always good to sell out it's always better to sell out than have loads of things left behind. So if you're worried about your originals, again, nothing wrong with originals, print a bit less if you're worried. But, you know, I have been to quite a lot of conventions at this point in my life. I say that like I'm 50 years old, but you'd be surprised at what originals, like, you know, like how people love original work. I'll be doing another video just based on the whole fan art versus originals, because that topic is huge and that deserves a whole other video of its own. But if you just want a shortened version, don't be afraid to make originals. There will be people who love what you have to offer. There's a lot of art on my wall now. I'm just seeing it there and there and there, and you'll be surprised how much original art I have collected over 6 conventions because the art was just beautiful. So if you are an original artist and you don't like doing fan art, the short answer is just do it. The third point, same as the last video, I spoke about making other merchandise. Now in the last video I said that prints are your staple, and if you're preparing for your first convention, doing expensive things like charms, or you know, like really expensive things like t-shirts, tote bags, all that sort of things, might not be the best decision to make. Like I said, prints are your staple. Loads of people love prints. They're light, easy to carry. They feature so many characters that you love. I don't want you to ignore the other merchandise as well, because and I've covered a little bit of this in a table display video, and I think I've learned a lot about table displays as well, so I might do a 2.0 version of table displays as well. But short answer, you want a table display to be as varied and as interesting as possible, because you want people to stay, you want people to look at what you have to offer. So doing cheap and readily available merchandise for you, if this is your first convention, doing things like stickers, just having them in a nice display book or just on the table itself, or nice, like if you prop them onto cork boards or anything like that. People do love stickers, they actually really do, and they're easy to make and hell to cut out all by yourself if you have thousands of sticker designs. But you'd be surprised what an extra touch of just making cheap but easily made merchandise, if this is your first con, the things in the paper media, not just prints, so things like stickers and bookmarks and anything else that you could make out of paper. I know an artist that made paper star, like she made, I think she even cut them out on the guillotine by herself. She made paper star tapes. Like, it's not tape, but it's just the paper star paper that you make paper stars out of. So even doing things like that, just stickers, bookmarks, even paper stars, just those added with your prints will give your table more variation. So I said in the last video, just focus on prints, but now I've learned that, you know, the table display is important too. And if you have just prints, like just A3 prints, and nothing else, it could look a bit suffocating depending on how you arrange your prints. So having prints at different sizes, having just postcard designs, and like having just something special like bookmarks or stickers or just anything different. If this is your first con and you're not comfortable making big spending money on like charms and everything, that's fair, but you can still have loads of fun with your table display and what you have to sell with just paper. So I was wrong to say that you could focus on just prints, because if you're the sort of person that doesn't enjoy making prints, like large scale prints, this might not be helpful to you. So if you're good at making smaller things like postcards or A5 prints, postcards, bookmarks, stickers, all those things, you can still have a really interesting table and they're still technically prints. So yeah, mystery packs are always really fun and people love to gamble. I hate saying this, but that's why gacha games make so much money. And mystery packs are cute. They make your table look like so much fun, and it's a good way to get rid of some old stock if you have any. And I'm personally looking forward to doing some mystery packs myself because I've got quite a bit of old stock piling up. Point number 4, same as the last video, I talked about prices. And what I said before still stands. Prices are good if you have variations of it. And before I said that if you only have prints, this might be difficult, but as I introduced to the table, you can have loads of things like stickers, bookmarks, paper stars. You can even, you can even make your own notebooks. It excites people, a table with different things on it, because it gives them the opportunity to spend money at a table, you know, to support you, you know, on a bit of a low budget. So yes, prices, keep them in variation, but also when you're pricing your actual posters and prints, keep a lookout. Don't be afraid to tweak it if the number that you picked isn't really working out. You can slash them or raise them, whatever way. You just gotta think about it, you know, what's working for you. It's okay to change them, just not too late during the convention. I'll get to that point later. It's good to look around at other tables and see what the average is for detailed posters at a large size, and base your prices around the average of the con. It's always safe to do that. Point number 5 that I mentioned in the first video is I talked about Sunday sales. I went through 6 conventions in the UK without doing a single Sunday sale because I don't think they're particularly necessary anymore. I don't know of any friends who do Sunday sales as well. If this is your last convention of the season and you just want to get rid of some stock, go ahead. Like, you can do whatever you want with your table. So when I say that Sunday sales weren't something that everyone did, that doesn't mean you can't that's not me saying you can't do it. Go ahead and do Sunday sales if you want. I did mention in the last video, and it still stays true. The problem with Sunday sales is that you could make a couple people pretty mad. You know, the people who attended the convention for all the days, buys your merchandise at, say, the high price that you had on the first day, and then sees you selling it for a lower price on Sunday. It's not very fair to the people who pay the higher price for it. It might make people a bit angry, so be a little bit careful. What I said in the last video, I still think that it's valid, and I went through 6 conventions this year without doing a single Sunday sale, and I haven't seen any of my friends do a Sunday sale. I just think they're maybe they're not as big as they used to be. Maybe they're not as necessary as they used to be. You know, if you're worried about stock, set up an online shop and sell your leftover stock there, or just keep it in a box and put it in a mystery pack the next time you do it. There's loads of ways to deal with old stock. There is a point that I brought up in the first video, which is about fandoms, and what I mean by that specifically is the designs that you have. And I said in the first video that if you have multiple prints of the same fandom, people, and let's say you have a group picture of all 9 Haikyuu boys in that group picture, and then you have like a solo picture of, let's say, Nishinoya, because that's something I would do, because you love Nishinoya that much. You have a solo print of him and you have the 9 Haikyuu boys in one. I said in the last video that people are more inclined to buy the group picture because it has all of them in it, and they are technically saving some money by buying the group picture, which also has Nishinoya in it, but other characters as well. I want to retract that statement and say that yes, I am also personally guilty of buying group pictures because I want to buy something from the table, and I love both fandoms. I mean, I love the fandom, but I can't buy everything on the table. But from traveling to multiple conventions and watching what people do, I just want to say that I really don't think that matters as much. If you love a fandom and you really want to make loads of stuff for it, Kidura makes nothing but Fire Emblem merch because she loves Fire Emblem and she's good at it, really good. And my friend Heiki had like pretty much her table was 90% Boku no Hero, but I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, to see people buy, say, all the Boku no Hero prints on Heiki's table. I use Heiki as an example because I was next to her most of the convention, pretty much all the conventions except one, and I was pleasantly surprised to see people buying, say, all the Boku no Hero prints, because if they are well designed, good composition, good colors, good, just generally good art, you'd be surprised at the people who just love everything you have on the table and they love, say, Boku no Hero, and they will just buy all of it. So I said before, be wary about making like group pictures and so on and so forth, because people like, yeah, some people will buy say one group picture and be happy with it, but don't make your decisions based on, say, a minority of what people will do. If you're happy making tons of Fire Emblem and Boku no Hero merch, just do it. Have fun. The most important thing is to enjoy what you're putting on the table. I think the last thing to talk about is where to get things printed. I was checking the Facebook link that I left in the last video, and I was really pleased to see that they kept updating said link as time goes on. So now the list is even bigger and better than it was before. So if you're a bit lost on where to get things printed, I'll leave in the description a link to a Facebook list of where to get your prints done online. But this is strictly online, so where to get your prints done online, your stickers, badges, anything you want. That list is very handy, and it's a good place to start looking. Of course, you might have your own little secret places, you know, places that will give you special discounts because you've known them for a while, or your own little secrets. But if you're just starting out, that list is a good place to start. So I think that's kind of everything that I wanted to talk about. This is how to make prints version 2. I can't believe that I'm remaking an old video. I thought I would never need to, but I've just learned so much about prints and just conventions in general that I thought that it was just the right thing to do, to just go back and just freshen it up a little bit. And if this is the first video you're watching, good, I guess. You can check out the old one as well, because that also has, like, opinions. If you have different opinions to what I said in this video, that's also fair. You can check out the old one. That one has like all the old opinions I used to have, and if you agree with those, good. I just want the options and I just wanted to put a different opinion out there. Just if it helps people, that's what I want to do. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this. So I think that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to say, and a good portion of the things that I've learned about conventions and everything. So thank you everyone for watching. If there is a subject that you want me to cover about artist alleys in another video, or something you want to talk to me about, something I mentioned in this video, just leave a comment down below. I'm very active. I like responding to comments. I think comments are the best. If I was about to say, like, if you enjoy watching this video, give it a like and subscribe. But, so yes, thank you everyone so much for watching. Bye.